Hey guys, BadInfos here, and this is GTA San Andreas. In this video I'll show you all the hidden tag locations in the game, including all the areas surrounding them, and will pinpoint the spot on the map so you get a better understanding where each one is located. It's possible to collect them all at the beginning of the game, before you even pass the first mission. However, I suggest doing it after you pass the mission because the rewards will be in your safe house and you can only access it after you pass Sweet and Candle. In GTA San Andreas we have 100 tags total, and they're all located in Los Santos. In order to spray a tag, you're gonna need a spray can. An easy location is on top of the first safe house. Do what I'm doing right now, jump on the house next door, walk on top of your garage, jump on your house, walk to the back of it, and look for the yellow roof. Here you can collect the spray can, walk to a tag, aim at it, and spray it. With that said, let's begin the package hunt. I'll start with the top right package in the map and work my way down. So as you can see, this is close to the water and you can see a huge hotel over here. Just take one of these ramps, walk to it, and there we go, it is sprayed. Pretty close by you can see this house which you can enter actually, and you do a mission here with Ryder. The tag is on the opposite house. For this one you're gonna do some climbing. We can see two garages over here which are yellow. Jump on these garages and walk on this roof. You have to drop down over here and you can find the tag. You can see the stadium in the distance and also a pretty cool and interesting bridge. There's an opening here with a armor pickup. Just go through the armor pickup. The bridge I was at was right over here, and this is the next location. You can see a swamp meat sign over there. Across the street is the next one. We can see a very tall parking lot over here. There's a for sale sign. Just get inside this parking lot and on the first floor we can find the tag. This is the main street. We can see a pedestrian bridge going across the street. If you enter this small compound, you can find the next tag on this wall. Let's go and spray it. You can't miss this one. This is the stadium, and on the southern side of the stadium we can find the next tag. The stadium is in the back. We can see a weird contraption over here. If you go on the beach, you can find the next tag. Again, the stadium is over here, and across the street from the stadium you can see this blue wall. On this blue wall is the green tag. This is the same blue wall building, and on the street you can find this tag. Again, the stadium and the blue wall building is over here, and also we can find a power grid. On this wall is the next one. Stadium, basketball court, green wall building, and the green tag. We're currently at the industrial area of Los Santos. We can see a few signs over there on the street, and this is the tag location. Down underneath the Los Santos canal, underneath this bridge, and also at the pretty much end of it, we can see the next tag. This is the 98 store. This is a red building, and also this is pretty close to your safe house. We can find the next hidden tag. Right here next to the safe house we can find a vending machine, and this shop over here. On the wall of the shop is the next tag. This right here is Clicking Bell. You come here in a mission. Right next to Clicking Bell on its wall is the next one. We are currently at Grove Street. We can see a huge bridge over here with some brass knuckles. On the bridge is the next one. There's a basketball court over here, there's Mexican food across the street, and the tag is over there. In order to get to the tag you have to go through here. You usually take this tag during a mission, but you can of course take it before you start the mission. So just hop over the fence, hop on top of this roof, and you can reach the tag pretty easily. There we go. I was right over there a second ago. We can see a small fence over here in this parking lot. Jump over the fence and spray it. This is the basketball court. We can see an almost naked lady over here on this red wall. On it is the next tag. Clicking Bell is over here. we can see a car wash in the distance and also one of the previous tags. On this yellow wall is the tag. There's a car wash over here, we can see a yellow wall. If you try to go through it, you'll see a tag. On this swirly road you can see two huge chimneys. On the building with the chimneys we can find the next tag. This one could be a little bit confusing, so try to follow along. Just look at these huge chimneys and find the wheelie sign. If you enter this alleyway and take a left, you can find it on this wall. We can see a green fence across the street and also this sign which says 1 day. If you go across the street and enter this lot, we can see one tag, but also another tag. These were tags number 27 and 28. We can see a cash loan sign in the distance and also across the street we can see a bunch of houses. On this wall is the next one. We can see a bridge in the distance and also a billboard. Across the street from the billboard is the next tag. This is the same billboard and we can also see a weird looking bridge in the distance. This is the street and here is the tag. This one is pretty well hidden, you can see a bunch of signs over there, we can see the weird looking bridge and also these houses. Now this is the first house, technically that's the first house, this is the second house, and between the second and third house we can see an orange tag on an orange wall. The next one is over here, we can see an auto parts sign across the street. If you go close to this house, you can find the next one. We can see two billboards in the distance with a palm tree. We can also see two interesting houses. This one is blue and this one is orange. On the blue house is the next one. There is a car lot in the distance and also a billboard. We can see a bunch of houses here, and at this ramp is the next one. I was right over here a second ago, and over here we can see this orange building. On the blue building next to it is the next one. We can find a few train tracks in this huge tunnel. At the entrance of the tunnel is the next one. I'm currently at Glen Park. We can also see a safe house pretty close by, and this is the car lot I showed you before, and on this wall is the tag. This is the Jefferson Motel. It's a huge orange building, so you cannot miss it. This is the surroundings, and on the wall is the tag. The Jefferson Motel is right over here, was just there a few seconds ago. If you enter this alleyway and see the safe house, which is pretty close, we can also see the tag. Again, this is the Jefferson Motel and this is the tunnel to the train tracks. If you go down this parking lot, turn right, the next tag is pretty visible. We can see these pointy structures in the distance. Across the street, however, we can find two palm trees, which are pretty huge, and on this wall is the next one. The pointy structures are in the distance, and over here we can find a weird looking house. On one side of it is the next one. This is the hospital. On the eastern side we can find this very well hidden tag. We can see an almost naked chick in the distance and also a bridge. If you cross the street and go to this purplish building, you can find the tag too. We can see a bridge across the street with a tag. Of course, I'm gonna go after it in a few seconds, just chill out. If you enter this place with all the laundry, on one of the walls is the next tag. This tag you get in a mission, it's pretty visible from the street. It's on the side of this bridge. Across the street from this same tag is the next one. This is the same bridge as before. If you enter this small alleyway, you can find the next one on this brick wall. This one is pretty well hidden. We can see a bar in the distance. Across the street we can see this huge fence, and on this blue building is the next tag. 50 tags have been sprayed, 50 more to go. The train tracks are pretty close. We can see a small parking lot here and also a location for grenades. On this wall is the next tag. The pizzeria and paint spray are super close to this next tag. It's on a wall and it's a little levitated. This one is on top of a building, which means it is pretty difficult to get to. We can see a few flowers and this is the gas station here. Just find a car, jump on top of it and jump on this roof from the car. Doesn't matter what car it is, it could be short or it could be tall. Right behind this sign is the next tag. This is the same gas station. If you go down here to the Los Santos canal, we can find the next tag. We can see a 69 shop right over here. This is 8 Balls Bomb Shop. On the wall of this small building is the next one. Pay and Spray is pretty close by, this is the pizzeria, and also we can see a liquor store across the street. Right next to this vending machine is the next tag. For the next tag, just find the train tracks with the pedestrian bridge going across the tracks. Above us we can find the next tag. This one is pretty close to one of my safe houses. We can also see a bunch of flowers right next to the street and also a fence. Hop over the fence and spray the tag. There's a huge sale across the street apparently, and this is the next tag. The airport entrance is across the street. Over here this funky looking building is the 60th tag. Pretty close to the safe house and the airport, on this green fence is the next tag. For this one, just find the train tracks. This is the very end of the train tracks. Just go over here to the Los Santos canal, and at the entrance of the tunnel you can find the next tag. The train tracks are pretty close, you can see them in the distance, and also the airport is pretty close by too. On the last house is the next tag. This huge bridge is not easy to miss, just look for these huge green beams. On the left one we can find the next tag. The next tag is right at the end of the train tracks on this blue building. Here we go. We can see a bunch of red cranes and also a lot of water. On these boxes is the next tag. This right here is the airport. We can see a huge sign and also the entrance to the tunnel. At the entrance we can find the next tag. I'm currently still at the airport and this is one of the entrances. On this building is the next tag location. The disco is pretty close. We can see 2 benches here with a bunch of stairs, and here is the next one. I'm even closer to the disco, and this is where I start these Los Santos races, and here on this building is the next one. And this is the disco itself. Just look for this huge sign and jump this grass fence. After you do, you can see this tag. Again, I'm pretty close by, and this tag is super visible from absolutely everywhere, so you should not have trouble finding it. So this is the disco. Just enter this place. There's a bunch of fences over here. Just enter here and look around. Over here on the right is the tag. I'm currently at this skate park. This one is on a fence on this side of skate park. Just look for this ramp and you'll be able to find it. This is Glen Park. Just look for this huge building and go here. Just look for the Optica sign. Go here. On the side of the same building is the next one. You cannot miss this one. It's a super easy location underneath this bridge in Glen Park. For this tag, just look for the Bobo billboard and count 2 times. 1 house, 2 houses. At the second house on the right side is the tag. There's a huge mess of roads behind me, which is called a freeway, and over here underneath the start of this freeway is the next one. This time the freeway is on this side, and over here we can see 2 green dumpsters. Right next to them is the next one. This one could be a little difficult to find, so just follow me. This is the Zip store, and also just look for this coin laundry and enter this place. On the right side on this building is the next one. CJ, move. For this one, just look for the Homies billboard, and right across the street over here you can see this building, and on the wall of this building is the tag. This right here is the skate park. You can see a bunch of tables, a vending machine and a bunch of pillars, green pillars. On this wall is the next one. This is the police station, which is a pretty bad spot for a tag, and also you can see a bunch of flags in the distance. Over here on the wall of the police station is the next tag. I was over here a second ago. This is the police station. This is the flag location and also the tag location. This is the entrance to the canals. This is Robo's Food Mart, and you can see the legal sign. On the building with the legal sign is the next one. This is my favorite tag location, you cannot miss it. There's a bunch of stairs over here you have to take, and also this is the garden, and you can see the whole of Los Santos from here. Very easy to spot. I'm currently very close to the beach, just look for this sign in the distance, and here on the very edge of the building is the next one. This tag is pretty difficult to spot. This is ammunition and this is a sign. Over here in this spawn location for vehicle, you can see the tag on this building with the funny supports. Over here you can find a bunch of stairs, and this is a blue building. Just go up these stairs, you have to walk for a little bit, and over here, pretty well hidden above the ground, is the next one. This is the donut place. We can see a billboard in the distance and also these green stairs. Just go up these green stairs and walk for a little bit, and here is the next one on this blue wall. There's a crane pretty close by. Across the street we can see a bunch of blue buildings and a billboard which says Vinewood, and over here we can see a bunch of stars. On this building is the next tag. This is Pay and Spray, a pretty easy to spot location. This is a yellow building. On the yellow building is the next one. You can see a bunch of flags over here and also a billboard. This is the surroundings, and on this wall is the next tag. There's a bunch of billboards here and also a vinyl countdown building. On the wall of the same building is the next tag. This tag is pretty difficult to find, so just look at the surroundings. There's a huge palm tree over here and 2 air conditioners. The tag is above ground, so if you're not fat you can just jump over here without the assistance of a vehicle. If your CJ is fat, then just get a vehicle, jump on it and jump on the building. We can see lots of water here and a slope of grass. Over here is the next tag. For this tag look for the bribe location, this is the surroundings, and also for this ranch billboard. Right underneath the ranch billboard is the next tag. Look for the Bobo billboard. Across the street from this yellow building is the next tag on this corner. I'm currently at the beach and Pay and Spray is right behind me. On this building is the second to last one. And guys, welcome to the last tag in Los Santos. It's at the very edge of this pier. Just spray it and we're done with all the hidden tags in the game. And now let me show you what you get as a reward. The first reward is that your homies are gonna start using much better weapons. Instead of the pistol and the Tech 9, they'll start carrying knives, the Desert Eagle and SMG. And the other reward is that some weapons are gonna spawn at your Johnson safe house. The first one is Molotovs, the next one is a sawn-off shotgun, we have a Tech 9 and also an AK-47. They'll respawn, so in a way you have infinite ammo. And this was it guys for this tutorial. If you have trouble with any other collectible, then click on the screen, and I hope these videos help. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.